What's up, YouTubers, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? So, the Rog Ally is here and it's been making a lot of noise. And some of you are wondering, should you get the Rog Ally or should you stick with the Steam Deck? And you don't know which one is better than the other. Some people are saying they love the Steam Deck, and some people are saying that they love the Rog Ally better. And there's a lot of confusion out there, and people do not know which one to get. So guess what? I'm going to help you with that today. And it's really a simple answer. And in a way, it's kind of not as simple as some people may think. But we're going to sort it all out today. So hold on to your seats and let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so you have the Rog Ally on the left, which is $700, and you can order it on asus.com as well as Best Buy. And you have the Steam Deck on the right, which you can only order from Valve website, aka steam.com. And the Steam Deck can run you anywhere from $400 to the $400 for the base tier, and you have a mid tier, which is around $500+, and then you have the top tier, which I have right here, which will cost you, I believe, $620, and this has the anti-reflective glare screen. The other two models, the base model and the mid-tier models, doesn't have the anti-glare screen. Now, I don't know how much of a difference that really makes in the real world. I remember I tried to find videos to see what the difference is, and I really couldn't find a difference. So I would just say that I don't think it's a big difference at all. I don't think the screen on the $620 model is any better than the mid tier or the base tier Steam Deck. So if you're on a tight budget and you want a Steam Deck, I would get the $400 version of Steam Deck, which is 64 gigs, and you can just buy a 1 terabyte memory card, which will cost you anywhere from $110, $120. You can normally get it on sale for like $80 to $100, and just use that as your main memory. So you have 100 plus the 64 gigs. And I believe the mid-tier model is 256 gigs, and the premium model, which is a $620 model, again comes with a 512. Now the Rog Ally comes standard with 512 gigabytes, and that will run you $700. So already the Steam Deck is looking like a better value price wise, and it plays the same PC games as the Rog Ally. Now the Rog Ally came out in June, which is the newest competitor to the Steam Deck, and there's so many PC handhelds out there right now. We're going to focus on these two. Now they want to really know what the difference is and which one they should get. Now, I would say this, guys. Wow, it's a tough one. The Steam Deck is still a good alternative, honestly. I would say, well, first of all, let's talk about the hardware. The Steam Deck is a 7-inch screen at 800p, so a 7-inch 800p resolution screen. The Rog Ally is a 1080p screen at 7 inches, and the screens may look the same, but for some reason I think the Steam Deck screen is a little taller. You won't really notice the difference, I guess, but it's not really a big difference. They're both 7-inch screens. One just has more bezel, which I think is the Rog Ally. I can't remember, but a Steam Deck, the screen is taller in there. I feel that way. So as far as screen wise goes, I think the screen on the Rog Ally is hands down better, 10 times better than the screen on the Steam Deck. The touch screen is more. It's a 10-point touchscreen and it's more responsive, just like a cell phone. I had no issues with the touchscreen on the Rog Ally. It's a huge step up from the Steam Deck. Now, the Steam Deck, they use a cheaper screen, and the touchscreen on there, it almost feels non-responsive. I think Valve, they really cheaped out on the screen. They went for the cheapest screen they can get. Even the screen on the base model Nintendo Switch is better than the screen on the Steam Deck. The touching the type on the keyboard, the on-screen keyboard, the built-in keyboard on the Steam Deck is a pain. If you want to navigate the desktop mode, you rather off using a keyboard and a mouse, which you can attach to the system, I believe. Actually, no, I'm lying. If you have a dock for the Steam Deck, you can connect a keyboard and a mouse to the dock while the Steam Deck is docked to it to navigate the desktop mode. To me, the desktop mode is really terrible on the deck. The Rog Ally gives you a true desktop experience. It has Windows 11 Home on it, and everything you can do on your PC you can do on the Rog Ally with ease. I had no issues. So if you're not computer suave and you just want to play games, I would, you know what, let me take a step back. If you're not computer suave, you just want to play games, play your PC games, your Steam games, then I would say the Steam Deck is better to go with, because it's easier to play games on the Steam Deck right out of the box. You can just take it out of the box, power it up, log into Steam on your deck, and everything, all your titles is right there available to you, and you can download it right there. You don't need to download any software or anything. Your games is available to you as soon as you sign in to the Steam Deck. Now with the Rog Ally, what I liked about it, it had Steam and Game Pass already installed. I like that. Honestly, as far as like, I'm a computer person, so I know how to download. I'm a computer person, guys. I know my way around Windows really well. I know how to download emulators. I know how to download any and everything and set it up easily on a PC. So the Rog Ally was the same experience. So if you're familiar with Windows, everything works the same way on here. The desktop is a very smooth experience. You don't even need to connect the mouse and keyboard on the Rog Ally. Everything just works. The touchscreen is smooth. It just works. But on the Steam Deck, navigating the desktop is a pain, and it's not like Windows. So I really don't know how to download emulators and other software to the Steam Deck, because I'm not familiar with Linux. Linux is like alien to me compared to Windows. I think Windows is a lot easier, even though, you know, that's very subjective to some people. Now, the Rog Ally is more powerful than the Steam Deck. The games do look better, and most importantly, they actually run better. Like, you would get double the frame rates on the Rog Ally that you would get on the Steam Deck. But from my experience and what I've seen, some games do run a little bit better on the Steam Deck versus the Rog Ally. But overall, the games look better and they run better on the Rog Ally. I was getting up to 90 frames per second on some games, 80 frames per second. You can get up to 112, 120 frames per second with a Rog Ally. Oh, and I forgot to mention, how silly me, guys. Not only does the Rog Ally have a better screen than the Steam Deck, this is a 7-inch 1080p 120Hz screen. That's the first for a PC handheld, I believe. I mean, you don't have to quote me on that, but I'm pretty confident that the Rog Ally is the only PC handheld that has a 120Hz screen. So if that tickles your fancy and you like to play in higher frame rates, higher than 60, then the Rog Ally is your go-to machine. As far as the buttons, I do like the buttons a lot better on the Rog Ally. I think the Rog Ally has better face buttons and it has better shoulder buttons. The D-pad, I guess that's up in the air. It's okay. I never really had any issues with the D-pad per se, honestly. So I would say the D-pad is pretty good on there. But the analog sticks are terrible on this thing. They're bad. Like, Honestly, I would remove these and add better joysticks. I had issues playing first person shooters with this, and like some third person shooter games. Not much as third person shooter, but more so first person. But you know, like once you get used to the analog sticks on here, like you can kind of control it somewhat. You know, you can have, you know, you get used to it. You can control how, you know, how you shoot in the game and everything. But that's as far as I can go. I would just say the thumbsticks on here aren't all that great. Now the Steam Deck has better analog sticks, hands down by far. I can feel more resistance. It just, everything just flows right on the Steam Deck. So I would say control wise, the Steam Deck is definitely better. You have the track pads right here that a lot of people have grown to like about the Steam Deck. If you're a PC user, then I guess, you know, the track pads will feel right at home to you. I personally don't use it. I'm a console gamer, so it doesn't really bother me. I don't use mouse. I don't really like mouse to play my games. But what's cool about the Steam Deck, you actually have more button options, because you can use the joystick in combination with the track pads to make up your own control scheme, which is cool. I like that. And also the D-pad on here is pretty good. I have no issues with the D-pads on here. I do not like the shoulder buttons on the Steam Deck. I think they're bad. Not terrible, but you know, they could be better, but it doesn't really interfere with my gameplay as much. But I think the Rog Ally wins as far as shoulder button goes. I do not like the shoulder buttons on the Steam Deck, but as far as like the analog sticks, the buttons are fine. I have no issues. So control scheme wise, I would give it to the Steam Deck by far. And being that the analog sticks and buttons are permanently placed on the systems, you would think that you would put the best analog sticks on the system. So the Rog Ally falls short in the analog sticks area versus the Steam Deck. Is it a deal breaker? I don't know. I mean, it depends, man. But I would just say they're bad. So the controller wise, Steam Deck is a lot better than the Rog Ally. The Rog Ally is just more powerful. The games does look a lot better, and they run a lot better in a higher frame rate. And you know, you can push it past 60. But honestly, on a handheld, you're not really gonna see the difference past 60 frames per second. At least that's my opinion. I mean, 120 frames is just, that's good for like PC and like console. You'll see a big difference playing 120 hertz with first person shooters, but a regular adventure game, you don't need anything past 60. But the gameplay is definitely smooth on here at like a higher frame rate. But I have no issues with the Steam Deck. The games run good on the Steam Deck. As far as control scheme wise, I think the games feel they just run better on the Steam Deck because of the controller. But you know, the Rog Ally has, oh that's right, the battery life is terrible on here. The battery life will last you, I mean, I'm just estimating here like 40 minutes to an hour. I would say like at least an hour. You can get like 40 minutes to an hour on here. When I say 40 minutes to an hour, I mean 45 to an hour. 45 to an hour. I didn't really time it myself, but I felt that way because like with the Rog Ally and any and every game I played on here, it'll go from 100%. If you're playing a AAA game, like I was playing like Gears of War, it'll go from like 100% to like 30%, 20%, and like I felt like in 45 minutes, which is crazy. So that the battery life on here is a deal breaker, and for the price that they're selling this thing for, it would have been smart for them to include the biggest battery that they can afford to put in this thing. And they have a new device coming out. I'm not sure if it was an A&E. I forgot what it was. I believe it's a new A&E PC handheld. They have a 75 watt hour battery, and I believe it's even more powerful than the Rog Ally. And that's a problem with these PC handhelds. Like, you know they're like weeds. You pull one out, another one pops up. Because first the Steam Deck was making a lot of noise. Then the Rog Ally came. Now that's making a lot of noise, but it's also getting a lot of negative backlash. A lot of people have returned the Rog Ally because they didn't really like it. They said, you know, because of the battery life, and it has software issues out of the gate. I never really experienced that many problems, and I've heard the Steam Deck also at launch had a lot of issues as well, but I didn't get it. I got my Steam Deck when it was available for me to pre-order, and they finally sent it out to me. So by the time they shipped my Steam Deck out to me, they had worked out a lot of the kinks, and even now they worked out even more kinks. So more games are playable on the Steam Deck, and some games didn't work through Steam on my Rog Ally, which is weird. But I never tried that same game also on the Steam. But I felt like some games that worked on the Steam Deck didn't work on the Rog Ally. But for the most part, all the games work. But I love this device in a way because of Windows. I'm so familiar with Windows. It was easy for me to download emulators on here, just like I did on my computer. And the battery, I believe they use the same battery, 45 watts. But the Steam Deck, you would definitely get more battery out of the Steam Deck for sure. I've gotten at least max maybe, I don't know, 3.5 hours, maybe 3.5, 4. I want to say 3.5 out of this, which is not bad because it reminds me of the first Nintendo Switch when you played Zelda Breath of the Wild at launch. Like, you was getting like 3 hours. So you can actually get 3 hours, 3.5 hours out of this. And if you're playing like a AAA game, you probably get like, depending on your settings, set everything to low, you can get at least 2.5 hours out of this, which is better than the 45 minutes to an hour on this. So if you're worried about battery life, I'll go with the Steam Deck. Both great consoles, man. I love them both. But you know, the buttons on the Steam Deck, I don't know, guys. It's kind of hard. I mean, just simply put, guys, honestly, I would just sum it up by saying this. This is my final verdict. The Steam Deck has better controls to me. The controls feel better than the Rog Ally, especially the analog sticks. The Rog Ally has a better screen, a 7-inch 120Hz screen, so the games look and run better on here. Plus you get double the frame rate in some games still, depending on your settings. Same thing with the Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck can only hit a max 60 frames per second, and some games that really can't hit 60 frames per second on the deck or struggle to reach 60 on the deck, you can definitely get that on the Rog Ally. So but the Steam Deck, to me, if you're not computer suave, you just want to play your Steam library on the go with no issues, and you want a longer battery life, I'll go to Steam Deck. If the Steam Deck had a better screen, or the same screen, or a good enough screen as the Ally, I would say hands down the Steam Deck is better. But if you have a Steam Deck already, this item is not needed unless you have money to burn. Or if you're curious about it, you can always buy it at Best Buy, try it out for yourself. If you don't like it, you return it. So overall, wow, I haven't even touched my Steam Deck as much ever since I got the Rog Ally. I guess in a way I kind of do like it better. You know what? I do like the Rog Ally better than the Steam Deck, only because, man, Windows, man, it's just so easy to put games on here, man. If I want to play PS3 games on here, it's simple for me. I haven't figured it out on the deck. I'm not too familiar with Linux. I have to look it up. And when I seen tutorials, it seemed like you had to go through more steps with the Steam Deck. With the Rog Ally, you just, whatever emulator you want, PS3, DS, whatever, you can just download it just like you would on the computer, and it works. And the desktop mode is a beast on here. Dock mode, you can actually put this into the Steam Deck's dock, which is awesome. But dock mode on here is terrible. I played Gears 5 docked. It did look really good on a TV on this. I was able to hit like 90 frames per second. You're not going to get it on the Steam Deck. But I think both of these devices, playing them docked is an issue. But I found playing the Steam Deck docked on a TV was easier than the ROG. Trying to play the ROG Desktop mode is terrible. Or at least, you know, if you're gonna play the ROG Ally dock, you're gonna need a keyboard and mouse attached to the dock to navigate easier. But I feel as if with the Steam Deck, when you dock it, you didn't really need the keyboard and mouse. But with the ROG Ally, if you're gonna dock this thing, you better off having a mouse and keyboard in conjunction with a controller if you want to play your game smooth dock. So this thing, playing a dock is terrible. You need a keyboard and a mouse. This one you really don't. So if you care about graphics and better performance in your games, the ROG Ally, that's your go-to over the Steam Deck. If you want to play your Steam library with ease, no issues whatsoever, just sign in and play all your games, Steam Deck is better. And also what I do like about the Steam Deck is the overlay system. The overlay system is so much better than the ROG Ally. The ROG Ally has to work out their own operating system. It's terrible on here. With the Steam Deck, off the break, there's the three dots right here, menu button. You tap this button, a menu comes up. You can adjust your frame rate and all your settings. All your settings is right here in game. You just hit this button and you can set your frame rate, you can set your wattage, and speaking of wattage, this is why the Steam Deck is also a lot better than the ROG Ally. With the Steam Deck, the lowest wattage you can go down to is a 3. I think it goes from 3 watts. I think the max is 15 on this. This is 10 watts to 30 watts. Most of the time 25 for me. So 10 watts to 30 watts, and even 10 watts is going to run through the battery. The Steam Deck, man, I can play my games in 3 watts, 4 watts. Like indie games, if I set this to 3 watts and turn the GPU down some, man, you can get like 5 hours out of this thing on indie games. This right here, man, to me, it don't matter what you set it on, you're still getting that 1 hour, even with indie games. And not to mention, you have all this stuff running in the background. Windows is running in the background, and other apps are running in the background because it's you're running Windows on here. So there's always some software running in the background. On this, there's nothing running in the background. You just play your games, kind of like almost like a Switch. I'm not gonna say like a Switch, but almost like a Switch. But for indie games, you can turn this down to 3 watts. And get 5-hour battery life. Crazy. Even AAA games, I would say, going back, like if you're talking about PS4, Xbox One games, you can actually still get like 3 hours on this thing, 3.5 hours by turning the wattage down to 7. Like a lot of Xbox One games plays well with 7 watts. So in a way, I think overall, as far as playing games, the Steam Deck is a clear winner because you can set your wattage as low as 3 watts, 4 watts, 5 watts, 7 watts, all up to 15 to get the longer battery life. When this, the lowest you can set it to is 10 watts from what I've seen. So the battery life is a lot better on here. Getting games to run on here, Steam games, is easy, man. So that's my conclusion. So it all depends on what you're looking for. Honestly, if you have a Steam Deck, I don't think this is needed. If you're on the fence, you hear people talking about a ROG, and you hear people talking about the Steam, and you're confused on which one to get, I say if you just want longer battery life and be able to play your games with no issues without doing any tinkering through Steam, if you want to play your Steam games, the Steam Deck is the way to go. If you want a better desktop experience, better graphics, double the frame rate, go with a ROG. So you can't really go wrong with either one. But to me, honestly, these are supposed to be handhelds. So battery life to me is more important than having like high fidelity graphics. Understand what I'm saying? So in a way, from what I'm saying is the Steam Deck is better. But man, that screen on here though, man, you just can't deny how good the screen looks on this thing and how games look on here. If the Steam Deck, if they came out a revision for the Steam Deck where they put a better screen on here, I would say hands down the Steam Deck is better, hands down. And this thing has so many kinks it needs to work out. People are having trouble with the SD cards to work. My SD card, I never had any issues, but once I did put my memory card in here, my SD card, the system did read that a memory card was in there, but I didn't know. It's like it recognized it was there, but I couldn't use the memory that was there, which was weird, even after formatting it. Then I realized I had to format it, restart the system, and make a folder in there for like Game Pass and whatever, and Steam, whatever, and then it started reading the memory, reading the SD card, and I was able to download games from Steam and Game Pass onto here with no issues. Now, what I love about the Steam Deck, as soon as they put the SD card in, boop, it works, it recognizes it, you can start using the SD card memory right away. So honestly, guys, I'm gonna just close this out by saying, and I hate repeating myself, and I've been repeating myself already in this whole video. It's already 24 minutes in, but honestly, guys, I would say the Steam Deck is a clear winner. Reason being, the analog sticks on here are great. You have the track pads on there that I really don't care about. The SD card, you have no issues. You put it in, it reads it. You can start downloading games to the SD card right away. The battery life is so much better on here. Indie games you can get anywhere from like 4 hours to 4. Like I'll probably just guess like around 4 hours. AAA games you can get anywhere from 3.5 to 2.5 hours. It was easy to just sign into Steam and download the game and start playing right away. So I would say the Steam Deck is the clear winner. So I'll go with the Steam Deck, guys. And the icing on the cake, the reason why I said go with the Steam Deck over the ROG is because, oh wow, I just slipped my mind. Oh, the price point. The lowest tier Steam Deck you can get for $400, and right now Valve is having a sale across all 3 models. So in all actuality, I believe you can get this lower than $400. So this starts at $700, and there's a lower tier model coming out, which is going to be $600, $100 difference. So you might as well just get this for the $700 with the 512 gigs. So price wise and the ease of playing games and the longer battery life goes to the Steam Deck. This is just for curious gamers. You want to test it out. If you buy it and you like it, then cool. That's what's up. But I think the only thing that's going for this right here is just the 120 hertz screen. The touch screen is beautiful on here. It has a better screen than the Steam Deck, so the games will look and run better, and the touch screen is better, and the desktop mode is better on here. But the battery life sucks. 45 minutes to an hour, I don't know. So Steam Deck is a clear winner. If they ever come out with a revision to the Steam Deck with a better screen, Rog Ally doesn't stand a chance. And right now, the Rog Ally has so many issues that have to work out. But I'm pretty sure as time go on, maybe Asus and Microsoft would, support, if they want to support this thing, just like the Valve did with the Steam Deck, keep sending updates week after week, months after months, to get the ROG up to par with the deck, where they worked out all the kinks. They have a better overlay system where you can choose your wattage on the fly and your settings on the fly, just like the Steam Deck. And they have programs out there, softwares out there. I seen a new software we can actually download for this, where the overlay is just like the Steam Deck. But I don't know how great it works because it's still in beta form. But I've seen a video where they have all that, and I may test that out. And another thing too, you can actually, from what I see with the Rog Ally, actually, man, even with the deck, you can actually, unscrew these systems on the back, and you can swap out the SSD. From what I've seen so far, swapping it out is much easier in the ROG versus the Steam Deck. I believe the Steam Deck is kind of easy too. All you have to do is you have to download some software once you install the SSD, and you're good to go. But I think with the ROG, you just swap it out and just, I don't know, re-download Windows, I guess. But keep that in mind, guys. You have easy access to the SD cards. So, excuse me, guys. You have easy access to the solid state drive in these consoles. Both of these consoles have 512 gigabytes. You can go ahead, I mean, memory is so cheap now. You can buy a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte SSD and put in here for like, I guess anywhere from like $100 to $200, which is not bad at all. I always wanted to do that with my Steam Deck, but I got a 1 terabyte memory card in there on top of my 512 gigs, so I guess I don't need that much memory right now. There's only so many games I can play anyway. I would love to do that with a Rog Ally, man, but the battery for me kills it. And I think the battery would kill it for anybody that's on the fence about getting this. So I would say Steam Deck is a clear winner, man. Analogs are better. It's easier. The battery life on here is great. Valve supports this thing, man, with updates. This thing is so fluid on here. So this is the better buy, man. But if you care about, you know, a better desktop experience, better graphics and double the frame rate, this is your thing. But the battery is a killer. The battery defeats the purpose of this thing, and hopefully Asus and Microsoft can come out with better software tools and updates where you can maximize the battery as close to the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has a better operating system, man. It just handles the games more efficiently and better, man. You get longer battery life. Steam Deck for the win, guys. I would go with the Steam Deck, but I do like how the ROG is it's lighter than the deck, and it's a little bit smaller. So it's a better looking system too. I think the ROG looks better than the deck, man. But I hope this video helped you guys, man. Sorry for ranting. Sometimes I can't really help myself, but I was just trying to you know, explain it the best way that I can onto what system is right for you. So, and there you have it, guys. That's all I gotta say, man. Red Crimson, you know, Red Crimson 102. Definitely like and subscribe, man. That'll help me out a lot. And I hope this video will help you guys out too, man. If there's anything I can do better, man, as far as video wise, just let me know. And if this video actually helped you out and, you know, a deciding factor, let me know as well. Ask me anything you want to know about these two systems, man. I will tell you. They're both great systems. I love them, man. I kind of really do like the ROG better, man. I really do, but the battery is what kills it for me. And I hope that it's improved the battery life on this through updates. And I wish there was a way you can actually put like a larger battery in here, man. But Microsoft and Asus need to come up with an operating system that runs games efficiently, just like the deck. If they can do that, then the deck the ROG might be the better buy. But there you have it, guys. I think Steam Deck is a clear winner. But no matter which one you get, you will still be winning. If you get the deck, you will enjoy the games on the deck. If you get a ROG, you're definitely going to enjoy the games on here for sure. The games run so smooth on here, man. But the battery, once you start getting into a game and enjoying the game, you know, the battery just kills it for you, man. Red Crimson 102 out. Like and subscribe.